Welcome everyone, my name is Rhonda and I'm here to help guide you through a nice relaxing practice to help give you some tips to help with stress and help to focus during these times of exams. So let's begin in a nice comfortable place. I know that you're at home, so if you don't necessarily have a yoga mat, that's okay. You could use a blanket. I also have an extra blanket here to help to prop up my head. I have blocks. You could use books or a cushion, things like that to help prop up certain parts of the body. So we'll begin here either sitting on your heels, or again, you could grab a block or a book and have a seat on that, sitting up nice and tall. And then we'll begin just closing our eyes and just take a few breaths, breathing in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. And I want you to focus on the breath here. So nice inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. Noticing the shoulders relax. Allow the chest to drop, the belly to soften. Quieting the mind. So during our practice, I really want you to focus on the movements, focus on the breath. Anytime a thought pops in, just acknowledge whatever that is and just try to focus back here into the body. Breathing in, send the breath all the way down to the belly. And it's up to you. You can keep the eyes closed or have the eyes soften. For me, I like to have my eyes closed. I find it helps me to focus inward. So this just helps to get us grounded and connected and relaxed as we move through our practice. Next, I'll show you a breathing technique that I like to do to help to relax me, and it also helps me to focus. So it's called alternate breathing. We use two fingers. So if I'm right-handed, so I'll use my right hand. If you're left-handed, you can use your left. So the thumb and the pinky, or the thumb and the ring finger are options. I'm going to do the pinky because my wrist, and it's just a little easier today. So I start by pressing on my right nostril. And I'm going to take a nice big inhale through my left nostril. And I'm going to hold. And then I'm going to take my pinky, hold it on my left nostril, and exhale that air through my right nostril. And then again, inhale through the right, hold, bring the thumb, exhale through the left. And I know you may be laughing, this may be a little tricky at first, but I guarantee the more you practice, it really is helpful. So holding that breath and then exhale out the opposite nostril. Again, you can close the eyes, this can help with focusing in. Doing this just a few more times. Inhale. Pressing into that nostril. Hold the breath. Exhale out through the opposite nostril. Inhale back. Hold. Exhale out. Exhale out. Inhale back. Hold. Exhale out. And release. And this is something you will likely want to practice a little bit to get better at it. Don't be discouraged, just noticing how you feel. Maybe you feel a little more energized, a little more relaxed. Just noticing what is in your body right now. And then on our next inhale, we're going to reach the arms out to our sides. We're going to take a nice big inhale up, in through the nose, big breath. And then exhale, drop the right hand down, reaching up, left arm stretches up and over. And then coming back to center. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Drop the left hand down, reaching up. And then coming up. I'm going to come into a little twist now. Right hand comes behind, left hand comes to the right knee. Sitting up nice and tall, looking over the right shoulder. Big breath in. And release, switching sides. Focusing on the breath here, big breath. Exhale out. And then come back to center. If you have your block or book, remove that. From here, we're going to come into a tabletop position on the mat. So I'll move my blanket for now. So in our tabletop, we want good alignment here. So bear with me with my little wrap here. But we want the wrist to be directly underneath the shoulder, the knee to be directly underneath the hips. So we've got lots of mirrors here, so you should be able to see that alignment well. And then just tucking the chin a little bit here. Take a few breaths, pressing the palms into the mat, press the tops of the feet into the mat. Take a big breath in, big breath out. And then as we inhale, we're gonna drop the belly, lift the tailbone, send the gaze up. So this is called cow pose. And then exhale, coming into cat pose. So we want to round the spine, tuck the chin, tuck the pelvis. And then inhale up. Exhale, round. So releasing any tension in through the neck, the shoulders, the lower back. Moving with your breath. So nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose or exhale through the mouth, whichever feels better. And don't worry about being perfect here. You may start to kind of sway a little bit, so if it feels good to sway into the hips, you can do that too as we kind of move. And then coming back into our tabletop, we're going to inhale, extend the right arm out to your side. Thread the needle, dropping that right hand through the left arm. Drop your right shoulder down, bring the head down onto the mat. Extend the left arm straight, and then sink the hips back towards your heels. So this is a really wonderful stretch for the shoulder, the right shoulder here, for the hips as well. So I'm going to stay here for 5 breaths. So feel free to count in your head. If you don't want to count, that's okay, I'll count for you. Find that my breaths go a little bit longer than yours, that's okay. Just try to lengthen your breaths a little bit longer if you can. So really taking those nice big inhales and big exhales. And then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Send the left arm, thread the needle, extending the right arm long, and then sink the hips back towards the heels. Nice full breaths. And again, we're staying for 5. Make our way back to center. And from here, we're going to come into melting heart pose. So we want to draw the knees back, walk the hands forward, lifting the tailbone, melt the heart forward. So you can drop the forehead, arms extend long. Again, we're working on the upper back and shoulders. If you'd like a little bit more of a stretch here, bring the palms together, lift them up, melt that heart a little bit deeper. So you'll feel this in between the shoulder blades, sending the breath into those tight spaces, breathing in, creating space, breathing out, let it go. And we're going to stay for 5 breaths. Gently release. So if the palms are lifted, allow the hands to come down. Allow the hands underneath the shoulders and press back up. Excellent. So we'll just take a sit down here at the back of our mat. Just taking a moment, coming back to the breath. Here, we're going to swing the legs out to one side. We'll take a sit down at the back of our mat, extending the legs. Just take a moment here, just rolling the ankles, wiggle the toes, shaking the legs a little bit, coming into a seated forward fold. So we want to lengthen through the upper body, and as we hinge, we're hinging from the hips. So a lot of us, when we're folding, anytime we want to touch our toes, we kind of round through our back, and some of us find it a challenge to even touch the toes. So yoga teaches us how to move the body properly. So we extend through the arms, hinge from the hips, and then reach. So find that full extension, reaching. You can hold on to the feet if you'd like. You can even rest your hands at your sides. And then just allow the forehead to drop, tuck your chin into the chest. And then bring back that full breath, breathing down the spine into the hips. Creating that space within the body. Again, don't get discouraged if you can't touch your toes today. That's okay. When I first practiced yoga, my fold was here. My hands came to my shins. So the more we practice, the more our body softens and opens up. So I encourage you to practice a little bit of yoga every day if you can. It really does make a difference. You're going to feel better. And that's what it's all about. here for a few more breaths. As we come out of this forward fold, we want to come out the same way we came in. So we're engaging our core muscles to protect the lower back. We're going to extend the arms and reach up, hinging from the hips, come back up to center, toes pointing up. Exhale, arms come down to the sides. And then from here, we're going to cross the right leg up and over the left, coming into a supine twist. So we'll bring the left elbow rested on the top of the right thigh. Right hand comes behind. So this is also where, if you need a little extra support, you could use a book or a block, or just leave the hand on the floor. Lengthening out through the crown of the head. We're twisting, looking over the right shoulder. Big breaths. And then gently release, switching sides. Again, we want to lengthen, so we want to avoid this. A lot of us, we tend to we're on our phones, we hunch forward. So we want to lengthen, draw those shoulders back, lengthen through the crown of the head, look to the left. Big full breaths. And then release. We'll go a little bit deeper here now, working more into the hips. Coming into half shoelace pose. So from here, we're hinging forward. Allow the forehead to drop, resting on the knee. Or again, you can grab a block or a book. Just rest your forehead here. It could be like this. Again, if you want to work a little bit more into your flexibility, come down farther. You could even add the arms. So I'm struggling with an injury, so for me, it's a little more challenging, but normally the palms come together good, but this is feeling a little tight. So we're just working here where we are today, breathing. So if you can come forward, great. Today I'm feeling it a little bit, so I'm gonna stay right here. So just find that place that feels good for you, connecting to the breath, breathing in, breathing out. Stay for one more breath. And release. Extending that right leg back to center. Beginning how we started, so shaking the legs, wiggle the toes, wiggle the ankles. And then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So we're going to take the left leg, cross it over. Coming into our supine twist. Right elbow comes to the left thigh. Twisting up and over to the left. So this is such a great stretch for the back, the shoulders, the neck. Gently release, switching sides. Again, using your props if you'd like to create a little bit more length. Looking over the right shoulder, lengthen and lift. Try to avoid this. Gently release, come back to center. Cross this left leg into our half shoelace on the other side. And you'll likely notice one side is a little bit tighter than the other. So this is my tighter side. I can't move as deep. That's also why we do yoga, to help balance our body out. A lot of times when we're working out, we'll work out one side over the other. So this helps to work both sides. So again, finding that place that feels good. You can use your block or your book, resting like this. Or if you want to work on your flexibility, come down a little farther, or add the arms. Again, you can be up like this, or come down like this. Always, always, always listening to the body. Every day your body feels differently, especially if you're working with an injury. So if typically you can go into a full fold, but today you can't, that's okay. Just be where you are today. That's the thing I love about yoga. It teaches us to be here, present, here and now. That's all we have. Stay for 2 more breaths. And we'll gently release. Extending the left leg. The leg's a little chic. From here, we're going to slide down, coming fully out onto our mat, lengthening out. I'm going to take a nice big stretch, reaching up and over. And I want you to imagine as though someone is gently pulling on your ankles and your wrists. So you're finding as much stretch and length as you can. Flex and engage the feet here, wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Nice full stretch. And then we're going to come into a nice little ball. Hug the knees in. You can keep the head down or squeeze together, nose to your knees. Nice and tight. You may even rock a little bit here, massaging the lower back, and then gently release, keeping the knees in. From here, we're going to kick up the feet, coming into one of my favorite poses. So this one's called Happy Baby Pose. So you can bring your hands to the inside or outside edges of the feet. This is such a great stretch for the lower back, the hips. It actually gives you just a feeling of being a child again. So it's that kind of childlike feeling of like, don't worry about what anybody thinks. You're just kind of moving your body. Like if you've ever seen a baby when they find their feet, this is what they do. They just rock and kick. And it feels so nice, just stretching the legs. Rocking from side to side. So just massaging the lower back, breathing. And then we're going to move into a deeper stretch here, letting the left foot go. Extend that left leg. Pointing the right knee out. You want this right foot to be flat. So again, the hand can come to the inside of the foot or the outside. You can even bring it to the ankle, the back of the calf, or I don't have a strap with me today, or even a belt. You could strap that around your foot and pull that way. So whatever helps you to work into this area. Our hips get so tight, especially if we're stressed. All of that stress goes into the hips. So we want to keep our hips nice and healthy, especially as we get older. It keeps us healthy. So nice full breaths here. We'll stay for 3 more. Pressing down. We're going to take our left hand to the right knee. Allow that right hand to come down, crossing up and over. Extend your right arm out to your side. Send the gaze to the right hand, or you can close your eyes here. This is such a lovely stretch for the back. It's like we're wringing everything out. Make our way back to center, and just give yourself a nice little squeeze here, hugging the knees back in. And then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So this time we're going to bring the left hand to the left foot, extend the right leg long, moving into this nice deep hip stretch. You want that left knee to point to the outside of your mat. So we're not bringing that knee forward. The knee comes out to open that hip. You can bring this right hand onto the opposite hip, because tendency is to kind of lift a little bit here. So we want to keep both hips grounded. Left foot pointing up. And breathe. One more breath here. And then the right hand comes to the left knee, crossing the leg up and over. Extend your left arm out to your side. Send the gaze over to the left, or close your eyes. Nice deep stretch. Breathing into the lower back. Adjust the body back onto the mat. Adjust the hips back. Draw the feet in, draw the heels in towards the glutes. Arms rest at your sides, palms face down. And from here we're going to come into bridge pose. So you want to press the feet into the mat, lifting the hips up. Chin slightly lifted as well. So this is bridge. Little bridge, I should say. So full bridge, we want to roll the shoulders underneath, interlock the fingers, lift a little higher. Now, if wheel is in your practice, by all means, jump into a wheel. If handstand or all those fun things, if you're a yogi at home and you're like, I want to get into that, then by all means, go ahead, you're at home. Today, I'm going to stay here in my full bridge. So I'm just going to lift a little bit higher and breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release, coming down. windshield wiper the legs, side to side. And then from here, we're going to bring the feet together, so bottoms of the feet touch. Knees are slightly apart. So this is where you can come in, because you're at home, you can grab some pillows, put them behind the knees. You could use blocks. I've got a couple blocks here, and just prop them up behind the knees. However they will go. I'll do mine this way. And it just allows, actually like that, it just allows you to not use the muscles. It just lets the legs can just fall, and they can have the support underneath them. So it allows you to relax into the pose a little bit better. So this is called reclining cobbler's pose or reclining butterfly. So you can keep your arms at your sides, palms face up, or inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. And noticing the support underneath your body. So noticing the floor underneath you, allowing the body to just sink into the floor. With every exhale, melt a little deeper. Doing a little body scan here. So noticing where you're holding on, where you're feeling that tension or tightness in the body, and just allowing the breath to open the body up. So as you breathe in, you're expanding. Exhale, relax. Stay here for 5 more breaths. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying how do you do? They're really saying I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They're like much more than I ever knew. And here we'll take our hands to the outside edges of the thighs. Draw the knees in. Remove our support here. And then we're going to roll onto our stomach. So from here, we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So this is another pose that works really well on the upper back and the shoulders, even the lower back as well. All those areas that we tend to hold our stress and tension. So we want to make sure that we are properly aligned here. So we want the elbows to be directly underneath the shoulders. And again, we've got lots of mirrors here. You should be able to see. And then bring the feet to the edges of your mat, grounding down into the hips. We're lengthening out through the crown of the head. So we want to avoid this. So we're not hunching forward. We're finding that gentle lift. Okay? So you're going to feel this in through the lower back. You're going to feel this in through your shoulders, in through the shoulder blades. So just breathing into those tight spaces. Again, if it helps, close the eyes to help focus in. Nice full breaths, drawing the shoulders down and back. more breaths. If you want a little bit more of a stretch on the lower back and you don't have any back issues, you can go ahead and come right into Sphinx pose. So this is where we extend the arms. Again, we keep that lift through the crown of the head, lifting, and full breath down into the belly. And then we'll gently release. And then just allow the body to sink here. Bring the left ear down onto the mat. And allow the body to drop. And we're going to come into a half dragon pose. So we're going to bring the right knee and bend it to the side. And then we're going to extend this left arm out. And just again allowing the body to drop. Make our way into our stretch. So bring this right hand close to the body here on the mat. And we're going to roll into our left side. So this is going to work on stretching the left shoulder blade. And we're rolling up. So we have options here with the foot. You can use the right leg as a little kickstand like this to get the full intensity of the stretch. Or if this is too intense, bring it down like this, okay? Because I know a lot of us, this is a tough one. So finding that edge, not forcing into it. I don't want you to hurt. It should just feel a nice little sweet discomfort. So you can breathe into it. It's not painful. You're just feeling that stretch, breathing in, creating that space. And then we'll gently release, come back to the belly. And then relax here, let the body drop before we make our way onto the other side. So we'll start by sliding the left leg along the floor, bending that left knee, extend the right arm out. And then once you're ready, rolling onto the right side, so pressing into the mat, rolling up. So again, this is that full stretch. So using this foot as a little kickstand, you're going to get that nice stretch in through the right shoulder. But if this is too intense, come back down and just breathe where you are, okay? We'll take one more full breath. And gently release. Coming back to the belly, pressing into the mat. And then from here, this feels so lovely on the back. We're going to come into a nice little round ball. I'll come to the center of my mat here. So just allowing the forehead to drop. Again, you could use, sometimes propping the head up can feel nice too, instead of having it all the way down on the mat. So just finding that place that feels good for you. And then allowing the back to round. So become like a turtle, a nice round back. Resting the arms, let them sink. one more breath. And then coming back, pressing up into a tabletop. And then we'll work through some cat-cows. How we began our practice. So as we breathe in, belly sinks, tailbone lifts, and the gaze up. Exhale, round. Inhale up. And then coming back to center, we'll make our way into pigeon pose. So some people like to come into pigeon from tabletop. Some even like to come from downward dog. So I'll leave that up to you. I'll do from tabletop just because this is easier today. So we're going to bring the right knee to the right wrist. And then we're going to send our right foot to the left side of our mat, grounding the hips down. So again, always lengthening up. We want to avoid this. And then begin to walk the hands forward. Again, this is where you could use a block. You could rest on your block or a pillow or a book. So this is a wonderful stretch for the hips, for the lower back. Again, we'll stay for 5 breaths. I know a lot of times when we're in our poses, our mind starts to chatter. So just trying to stay grounded. For me, that is keeping focused on my breath. For some, it might even be listening to the music or feeling the body. So feeling it as it grounds down. So any anchor you can use to help to keep you focused. Doesn't mean the mind is not going to wander away and think about all the to-do lists that you have to do, because it will. But the practice is about drawing back the attention here. So staying present, staying focused. Here we'll gently release. We're going to come back into our tabletop. So just pressing the hands down. We'll slide the leg back. Or if you came from your downward dog, come back into your downward dog. And then we'll come into pigeon on the other side. So sliding the left knee forward. Bringing that left foot to the right side of the mat. Positioning the hips. And take your time here. A lot of people also, when they come into a pose, they feel like they're stuck. And if it feels uncomfortable, they feel like they can't move. So that's not how it should be. So adjust the hips. If you have to kind of roll a little bit to get comfortable, go ahead, no rush. And then once you're ready, allow the hands to fall forward. Drop the forehead. And then coming back to the breath, we'll count 5 breaths. Once you're ready, gently make your way back up into your tabletop or back up into your downward dog. then from here, we're gonna come into child's pose. So we bring the knees to the edges of the mat, big toes touch, sinking the hips back towards the heels, extend the arms, allow the forehead to drop. Nice full breaths, breathing down the spine, down into the hips. One more full breath here. And coming back up. From here, we're going to roll back onto our backs. Give yourself a nice little hug. Into legs up the wall pose. So this is where you can use a block. You could use your hands underneath the hips. That's with the hands under the hips, so like this, or like this. Or if you have a nice bulky pillow or a blanket, you could use that as well, or a stack of books. So you just want to elevate the hips a little bit. So you could even use the wall at home as well. So this is a wonderful pose to help relax the mind, relax the body. It helps to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. So that helps to calm us down. And the lovely thing, if you have a wall against the legs, you can just allow them just to support against the wall, so you don't have to use the core muscles or your leg muscles. So that's a nice added bonus. So we're gonna stay here for a little bit. I'm gonna mind the time. So just closing the eyes, connecting back to your breath, taking nice gentle inhales through the nose. Exhaling out through the nose or through the mouth, whichever feels better. Just slowing the breath down, so keeping that nice slow rhythm. And I know those thoughts are going to pop back into the brain, and that's okay. Just allow them to come and then just send them on their way. So focusing back on the breath, or focusing back on the body, feeling the body, hearing the music, or noticing any sensation that's around you. So maybe it may be the warmth of the room, or a smell in the room. So anything that can draw you back here, so you're not getting lost in your thoughts. I always like to give options in my classes, so you're welcome to stay here in your waterfall or legs up the wall pose, or if you'd like, you can come into shoulder stand. So I'll show you that. Now the only thing is, if you have lower back issues, I would avoid this. Again, this is up to you. We're all adults, we know our body. So you're just basically lifting your hips, supporting the body with your hands, extending those legs. So this is a lovely stretch for the spine, for the neck. Okay, but this isn't for everyone. So if you get here and you're like, no, this doesn't feel great, come back into your legs at the wall. Okay, now for some, because I know some of you out there do my classes, we're going to extend the legs back. So this is called plow pose. And this is a lovely pose to help stretch the back even more. So you're extending the arms out, legs extend, toes touch the floor. So if any of these are not happening, if the feet aren't touching the floor, come back up. Okay, so stay here. If this doesn't feel good, come back here. Okay? So either or. We're going to stay for a couple more breaths wherever you are. Plow, begin to make your way back up to shoulder stand, and then from shoulder stand come back into our legs at the wall, and then remove our support from underneath us, and then allow the legs to float down. Adjust the hips, adjust the body. And then we'll come back into our reclining butterfly, resting the palms on the thighs, palms face up. Taking a few gentle breaths. And then from here, make our way into our final pose, into Shavasana. So we're going to extend our legs, and this is where, if you have a blanket handy, you can grab a blanket, coming into our nice little Shavasana, resting our arms at our sides, palms face up. The body to sink.
So just stay right here, safe and sound. We'll hold tight for just 1 second more. We can win this fight. We will beat this storm, and everything we've ever had makes sense. Hold my hand, love me true. The games we play will got us confused, but we'll keep us safe. So just stay right here, safe and sound. So just stay right here, safe and sound.
clear head, staying present with the breath. Shavasana is our time where we take in all the good that we just did for our bodies, all the good we just did for our mind. So just allowing that to settle in. Sinking into your mat. Shavasana for 5 more breaths. Once you're ready, we'll gently roll onto our left side. Just taking a moment here. The right hand down, gently guide the body up. Coming back to a seated place on your mat. Sitting up nice and tall. So coming back to where we began. And just noticing maybe any shift that maybe has happened. Do you feel more relaxed, more at ease, more calm? If not, that's okay, no judgment. Just noticing what is. Just notice what is, even if it's a slight shift. Let's take one big breath together. As I inhale, I sweep my arms wide. And then as I exhale, I draw my hands to my heart. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you to the Wellness Center and FSU for allowing this to happen. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. I miss everyone, and I look forward to seeing your bright faces again soon. Thank you. Namaste.